welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing the makeup look that I wore in my last Brushes 101 video, where not only am I going to show you how I got this makeup look, but also some of my favourite brushes to create this look. So if you'd like to see how to get this look, then please keep watching. So as always, I'm starting off by moisturising my skin, and here I'm using the Vitamin C moisturiser by The Body Shop. Before going on to moisturising my lips, I always want to say this, but I'm just applying some lip balm, and this is the LipGlam lip balm that I'm using on my lips. Now moving straight onto my base, I'm using this NARS tinted moisturiser with my trusty beauty blender, and this is what it looks like big once it has been run under the tap and dampened. So I'm putting this all over my face before going in and bouncing the beauty blender onto my skin, and this just blends the product out beautifully. Then I decided to add a little bit of this Born This Way foundation by Too Faced Cosmetics just to add a little bit more coverage onto my face. And again, just doing the same bouncing motions, and here I'll show you up close just how natural it looks. Now moving on to concealer, I'm using the Stroke of Light concealer by Pur Minerals, and I'm just applying in the usual triangle shape underneath my eyes, like you can see me doing here, and then the other areas that I like to highlight and conceal. So the bridge of my nose, my forehead, chin, around my mouth, and just underneath where my contour would be, and again just blending all of that out with the Beauty Blender. The Beauty Blender can blend out pretty much any liquid to cream products, which is fab. Then time for my eyebrows. So you guys have seen me do my eyebrows quite a few times, but I've left this in here because I wanted to show you guys what brushes I use. So I like to use the spoolie on the end of the Soap and Glory Archery brow pencil, double-ended pencil thing, just to brush out the brow hairs of mine. And then I like to go in with this Zoeva 317 winged liner brush, and this I use with the Anastasia Dip Brow just to fill in my brows. And this is such a good brush to use. I like to sharpen it on the lid of the brow wiz, not the brow wiz, sorry, the dip brow, just to get the point really sharp on the brush to help me fill in my brows. And here I'm just concealing the brows as well, just to clean them up, and I'm using the Nancy lip brush for this. And again, this is a beautiful shape that fits really well underneath my eyebrows, and it's not too harsh looking either. So here you can see me cleaning all of the kind of areas up above and below my brows, just to make things look a little bit more neater, before going in with kind of setting my brows. And for that I'm using my Body Shop brow and lash gel, and it is actually clear, but because I've used it so much it's kind of changed in colour a little bit. And then moving on to cream contour, I'm using this Illamasqua Gel Contour stick, and I'm just contouring the usual areas of my face, but going in with this Motives foundation brush to blend everything out. I like to use a mixture of swiping and kind of like stamping and pushing movements to get all of the lines blended into my skin, but I just love using this brush. I think it's really good, and I believe there's a Real Techniques brush which is similar to this one. So yeah, make sure you watch my Brushes 101 video where I kind of go into depth about more of my favourite brushes, because you guys have asked about this. But here I'm just blending out the rest of the contour lines, and I'm doing my nose contour lines with my fingers. Now moving on to setting those areas, I'm using the Bahama powder with my Charlotte Tilbury Sculpt brush, and I'm just setting anywhere we use that Illamasqua cream gel product for contouring. So here you can just see me do that, and this brush just fits in beautifully on my face in the areas that I want to bronze up and also contour up. And I just love this. I've been using this for so many years now, but I absolutely love it. And then getting a bit of the Natural Collection Crushed Walnut on this MAC 224, I'm just going in and deepening the contour ever so slightly, like you can see me doing here. And this just adds a little bit more of a definition, and you can kind of work on the areas that you really want to kind of accentuate. And then I'm going in with my Beauty Blender just to help blend all the lines out, and again I love doing this to kind of like soften the look up. And then I'm going back with my Charlotte Tilbury Sculpt brush just to make sure that everything is nice and blended and it's not looking too harsh. Then to set my concealer, I'm using the Kick-Ass Powder by Soap & Glory with this Zoeva Luxe Face Focus Brush, and it's really nice and flat, and it fits underneath my eyes really, really well to kind of set those areas. And I just absolutely love this brush, and I get so many questions asked on this as well as to what brush it is, but I think it's like one of the best kind of setting brushes that I've used. Then moving on to setting the rest of my face, I'm using the Mineralize Max Skin Finish, and I'm using the Luxe Cheek Finish brush by Zoeva as well, and just buffing that ever so slightly into my skin, making sure all of the lines above and below my contour are nice and blended out. And once I was happy with that, I went in with some highlight, and for that I used the Pur Minerals highlight, and with that I used the Luxe Fan brush by Zoeva, and I'm just applying this onto the kind of general areas that I like to highlight, so the tops of my cheeks and also just above my brows as well, just to kind of give me that natural glow, and then not forgetting my cupid's bow and the bridge of my nose. Before going on to blush, I'm using this Milani Luminoso blush with the Expert Face Brush by Real Techniques, and I like to push this into my skin because I find that this gives me the best kind of payout of colour for a blusher. Now moving on to eyes, I am using my Too Faced Shadow Insurance, and generally I use this with my fingers, but if I do have anything like false nails or anything like that on, then I will apply it with a brush. But today I'm applying it with just my plain fingers. And then taking that same Pur Minerals highlight on this shading brush by Real Techniques, I'm putting that into my brow bone to add a really nice, natural, subtle highlight. And then moving on to the rest of my eyes, I'm using the Smokissme eyeliner in the brown shade and a mixture of this Luxe Petite Crease brush, and I'm just applying this on to the outer corners of my eyes and using a bit of a guide there, just to make sure I've got a bit of a nice kind of line and the angle that I want it to be going in. So I'm putting the product on and then brushing it and blending it out with that Zoeva Petite Crease brush. And I'm doing a mixture of the two just to help kind of make sure that I'm kind of happy with the way that the eye shape is forming. And then for the crease, I'm using the Bahama Mama bronzer again, and with that I'm using the Sigma E40 brush, and I'm just putting that into my crease until I'm happy with the way the eyes are looking. And this is a very kind of warm eye, but we are going to go in with a pop of colour, and that pop of colour is this Miss Punky Super Liner Ultra Position in this really gorgeous turquoise shade, and I'm just doing a winged eye look for this. And I'm building the colour up until I am happy with the kind of level of turquoise on my eyes. So you'll see me kind of going in and like doubling up the colour until I am happy with the way it's looking. And then grabbing some more of the crushed walnut, and I'm using that on a smudger brush by Zoeva. I am just kind of smudging that onto my lower lash line just to balance the top and bottom parts of my eyes out, and just making sure that the line at the bottom is nicely diffused and not looking too harsh. And then going back in with that same Pur Minerals highlight in that same shader brush, I'm applying this into the inner corners of my eyes just to kind of brighten this up and make it look a little bit more kind of lighter. And then I'm using my favourite mascara combo, you guys know the drill, going in with the Lash Sensational mascara by Maybelline first, and then amping that up a little bit with the Miss Manga Punky mascara before going back in with the Lash Sensational to kind of make sure that everything's nice and spread out as well. For lips, I used a mixture of this MAC Chatterbox lipstick and Sephora lipstick in the shade 14. So I'm going in with the MAC shade first, and then topping it up with the Sephora Everlasting lipstick in the shade 14, and that is the final look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and saw some of my favourite brushes in action, and me kind of just talking you through some of my favourite brushes as well. Please don't forget to check the other videos that I've done on this kind of brushes week on my channel, and yeah, I guess I will see you all in my next video. Bye!